What is up, Karma Nation? Welcome back to another edition of our Prizepicks Player Prop Podcast. I'm your host, Joey, here with my lovely co-host, Ethan, ready to win you guys and gals some money. It's December, and you know what that means?
No, what's that mean? It's my birthday month. That I do know.
That's not that important.
Okay.
The most important thing is it's Christmas music season. Throw on some Mariah Carey, feel great. Is that right?
I don't know why I do this pod with you ever. I truly do not know why.
You're telling me
You,
you're not excited for Christmas music season?
I am, but not Mariah Carey. That's not the first thing that pops in my head when I think Christmas music.
Oh,
So
we're gonna have some issues with that then.
yeah, sorry, Joey.
What are you listening to for Christmas music?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a bride, something like that. You know how it
That's
goes.
that's embarrassing. Oh, I can't believe I'm doing pods with you.
Yeah. Oh, breaking news, Joey.
Oh, we got some breaking news. What's the breaking news?
Bam is out for 6 weeks.
Bam, bammed up his thumb, huh?
Yeah, 6 weeks.
That's
Thumb injury.
that's tough. Tough for the
Yeah.
Miami Heat, but pretty good for some Butler props though. If he
Well, Butler's questionable. He might not play.
isn't everyone questionable these days.
Yeah, even I was questionable for this pod.
Yeah,
So,
sleeping in a little too late, feeling a little tired.
he, yeah, I was up a little late. So,
It's a little late. It's a school night. What are you doing,
some of us graduated years ago. So,
old man?
yeah, no, that's okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, you get the you make more money because you're older than me.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
you're making more money on the props. Speaking of that, we are up $2,000 this month on the props package. Ethan's up a good 1,400 projections. If you blindly follow those top two, they're up 700. And I unfortunately am down 200, and that's all based off of $100 bets. So as you can see, Ethan, he plays the easier sports like NHL, college sports, where they don't do too well in those projections. So that's why he's
No,
up.
no, 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 no. So let me explain this, Joey, real quick for people who don't
Let's see
know.
it.
I put out props for NHL, all college sports, golf, MMA, NFL, NBA. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Pretty much anything you can speak of except for video games. I will never put out props for video games because I'm not betting on someone how fast they move their thumbs.
And
Um,
you won't put out NBA props.
yeah, and
You
NBA props. I hate the
boycott
NBA.
those. Yeah.
What I personally do is look for edges in these different sports, and I have found edges in NHL and college sports. So I've been attacking those two sports more than I have NBA and NFL. And that's why I made a lot of money this month is because there are edges out there. You just have to be able to identify them. And that's what I have done. And that's why I'm so much better than Joey because Joey does not know anything about any of these sports. So
Yeah,
here
that
I
is
am
true.
beating him again.
I play the sports everyone likes to play. No one likes to play those other sports.
But they
Unless, of
bring
course,
in
they're
money.
winning. Yeah.
But Joey, they bring in money. We all want to make money.
Yeah.
So
You got people watching hockey now, I heard. I saw in the
you got me
Discord.
watching hockey. I never watched hockey before until this year.
Yeah. Hey, if you're
And
making
here's the
money,
stat.
it's fun.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I never watched hockey until this year. I just know how to research props. I still don't know all the rules about hockey or really much about hockey. But I know how to research props. So how I'm doing so well beats me, but it's working, and I'm going to keep riding the wave because it's bringing a lot of money right now.
Yeah, I know my prize picks and monkey knife fights accounts are thanking you right now. I'm up 2 grand on monkey knife fight the past couple weeks just because of you. Well, not all because of you. I've been hitting some monkey knife fight plays as well. So
Yeah, and we hit Prize Picks last night for hockey, so I'm pretty excited to
yeah, is that your
jump
first
in.
prize picks hockey play too?
Yeah, because I've only been doing monkey knife fight and underdog mostly because of goalie saves. But I'm now looking into shots on goal for NHL players, and I hit my first one yesterday, and I feel like I kind of have a grasp on the research there. So still fine tuning some stuff, but so far I'm pretty happy with the results.
Well, I'm proud of you. Our
Thank
subs are
you,
proud of
Joey.
you, and they thank you for winning us money.
Thank
Although
you.
I put the prop in wrong last night, so you didn't win me any money on prize picks.
Gotta learn to read, Joey.
I don't like playing unders, and what are you gonna do?
I
Post an
do.
under, and it hits. So at least I messed up one time before that for college football, and I hit. So
Yeah, it hits sometimes. It
sometimes,
happens.
yeah, sometimes you get lucky, you fade Ethan, and it hits.
I mean, you remember that NBA play last week when you had Sabonis over points and he missed, but I had Collins over points because I totally thought you put Collins in your play and not Sabonis.
Yeah, sometimes it works, and the projections liked Collins a little better than Sabonis as well, even though they're fairly close. I think one was just like point 0.3 or point 0.4 points ahead of him, but turns out the projections are always right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not always right, but I'm right 90% of the time. I would say projections are right 95% of the time, I guess, and Ethan's right about 70% of the time. So
Okay. Whatever.
as we can see. All right, getting into some business here. Last night, projections did decently. Difference percentage over 30%. That's kind of our mark for the top props. Went 3 for 3, so 50%. Not amazing, but I'm starting to look more into the points and fantasy points props just based off a raw difference instead of difference percentage. Top three fantasy props hit. Siakam, Aiton, and Randall. So won a little money off of that. So not always based off a difference percentage. Sometimes you look at raw difference because those high numbers, even if it's a 5 difference, they might only have like a 20% difference percentage when a low number is only difference of about one stat and they'll be up at 40%. So always got to look at anything. We'll run through the projections today, show you how to look through them, show you how to just give you a little preview of it because they're behind a paywall. And last night was a small slate, so there's not always as many good plays as these bigger slates. And we are got a bigger slate today because it's a Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, bigger slates. I'll be touching on NBA, and Ethan will be touching on a little college football. He'll be talking about a prop he posted, the line movements, but that's why you get into the prop package. If you're not a member of our Discord, first off, that's free. If you go to dfskarma.com/chat, that's a way to join out, get all our free content. We post it right there. We tag everyone, so you won't miss out on any of that. And if you're interested in getting all our official plays, just like the play Ethan posted, line movement happens. So these free plays, you don't get the best lines if those line movements happen. Just because we post for the prop subs first. Subs get priority over you guys, unfortunately. But they pay us. Go to dfskarma.com/pricing. Click on the props tab. You'll see the $35 a month option. We no longer have our Thanksgiving/Black Friday promo, so that 25% off is no longer applicable. That was getting you 25% off, so you were saving about $10 a month there. So you missed out on that, unfortunately, but still $35 a month, still cheaper than it was a couple months ago. We were at $50, but now we're down to $35 a month. And you get all our official plays plus our easy-to-read projections. They put it out on a table and sort that off based off a difference percentage and difference. So then we can start off with your college football play today, Ethan.
Alrighty. So yeah, like Joey said, if you were in Discord yesterday, when these lines dropped, we were on them within probably 5 minutes. I think Zappy is now what, Joey, 263 or something like that.
265 and a half.
Yeah, so Bailey Zappe, I love his over still. We got him at 331.5, but I love that 365.5 now. He has still been over this number in 10 out of 12 games. This guy is one of the best quarterbacks when it comes to throwing the ball. His first college game this year, he threw for 7 touchdowns. That's a lot for one game.
I mean, when your prop's to 365 and a half and you're still thinking about taking the over, he must be good.
Well, there's a reason why, Joey. These teams met back on October 9th. UTSA won this game 52-46. Mr. Zappe, he threw for 523 passing yards.
That is a lot.
That is a lot. This is a pass-first team. All they want to do is pass the ball, and they cannot play defense at all either. So they get in shootouts with teams, and that's why he throws the ball a ton. On the year, though, he's averaging 414 passing yards per game. He's averaging 48.3 attempts, and he's completing about 33.8 of those. These are insane passing numbers, and I fully expect him to probably throw over 400 yards in this game. I would probably put his projection at 400.5 on the dot, honestly, just because he's still been over that number in almost every game this year. I also said I like his over passing touchdown number. He has hit that in probably, he's thrown at least 3 touchdowns in every game. He's been over that number, I want to say, 9 out of 12 games this year, too.
Yeah, pulling up those last 5 that Prizepicks conveniently puts for you. He has 4 plus in all those games. 4, 6, 5, 4, and 4. So
Yeah,
pretty
they
good
just
right
don't
there.
run the ball, Joey. They're a very pass heavy team. The over under in this game, the total is 74.5.
And I assume they'll be trailing, right? Because they're playing a top 25 team.
Yeah, most likely. The line is actually Western Kentucky's favored -3.
Really?
Um, but there's a lot of heavy juice coming in on that over under total on the over. I mean, these teams combined for 98 points in their first matchup.
That's a lot.
So that should tell you something there.
They're going to break
So I
100
like,
this time?
what's that?
Are they going to break 100 this time?
They actually might, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, this is your conference championship game. So you want to win. So you're going to pull out all the stops to win. Um, and UTSA is really good against the run. Their pass defense is what their weak part, and obviously that's Western Kentucky's strength. So they'll pass it a lot in this one. So take us over now. Come in our Discord. You always get numbers at a lower rate. I like him up to 400 yards, honestly, because I expect him to throw over 400. So lock that in now. And then my other guy I'm going with is Stetson Bennett over 196.5. Is that what he's still at, Joey?
Uh, yep. There he is for
Okay,
Georgia.
cool. So we got him at 184.5 passing yards. So you're thinking Georgia SEC school, why is that number so low? Don't look at his game logs because they're a little misleading. Georgia is the number 1 team in the country. They have blown out everybody except for maybe 2 teams that were still kind of blowouts. But if you look at his numbers, in SEC football this year, he has gone over this number in about half the games. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 SEC schools. All right, and he's gone over that number 5 out of 9 of them. Of course, the ones he didn't go over were South Carolina, where he threw the ball 3 times. Vanderbilt, he threw the ball 15 times.
How do you only throw the ball
Arkansas,
3 times?
Yeah, Arkansas, he threw the ball 11 times. You're just not
That's
going
pretty
to go
crazy.
over this number when you're throwing the ball so little. But in all the games he's completed 14 or more passes in, which there was 4 of them, he's gone over this number. Alabama actually has a decent run defense, just like Georgia. And I expect both quarterbacks to have to pass. This is for the SEC championship game, a playoff spot.
Yeah, 'cause
Georgia's just not going to be able to run the ball.
Alabama needs to win to get in.
They do. So Georgia is 6.5 point favorites. That's the closest line it's been all year for them. Because, like I said, they've been blowing everybody out. Their defense is really dang good. I expect Bennett to have to throw probably around 30 times in this one. So if he can complete 20 of them, 15 to 20, he'll go over easily. I've seen other places have this line over 200 yards. So I expect this to probably end up around 205 come Saturday. But the game I'm comparing this closest to is Tennessee. Even though they still won by 24 points. So he didn't throw a ton in the second half. But the first half, it was pretty close the whole half. He threw for 213 yards. So don't look at his game loss because game loss will probably say, oh, take his under. But he's been only under a lot because, like I said, they're winning by 40 points, 30 points almost every game this year. So close game. Bama is going to play them close. That Bama run D is really good. Georgia's run D is really good. I expect both quarterbacks to have to pass the ball. If you want to take a shot on the Alabama quarterback over passing yards, go ahead. I like that over too. But those are the 2 plays I told Discord about. And like I said, Discord got them at slightly lower numbers, but I still think the overs are okay. So go ahead and lock in these 2 plays. And then, like I said, come Saturday night, watch that money come in.
Yeah, because you got to be careful, especially I guess with college sports, because if you play a really bad team, you're just not going to pass it. Like we preach in NFL, game script matters. If you're winning by
Yeah.
3 or 4 touchdowns, you're not going to pass as much because you want to run out that clock.
Well, and that's what makes college sport, blowouts tough is, and especially in college football, is like, for example, Georgia last week. You knew they were going to blow out Georgia Tech, and they won 45-0. But how are they going to blow them out? Was it going to be passing for 4 touchdowns, or was it going to be running the ball for 4 touchdowns? Who knows, Joey? You just can't predict that. Um, and they ended up passing for 4 touchdowns. So, anyone who had the over on him last week, that was a great call. Um, I told Discord it was a complete coin flip because I truly had no idea if they would just. It was going to be a blowout either way, but I didn't know how they would get there. But I think Bennett should be over 200 yards passing projected because I expect them to throw at least 200, probably closer to 230 in this one. Because I just don't see them having any success running the ball, especially since the last few weeks they've been struggling with the run game. So he's having to pass a lot more, as you can see in his last 5 game logs. If you're looking at Prizepicks, he's hit over in 3 out of the last 5 games because they've just had been able to run the ball that much.
Would you be
So
willing to take his over passing touchdowns as well?
no, I do not. Just because if they get the ball within the red zone, they will try and run it in. So I feel more confident in the first guy, Bailey's at base touchdowns, than I do Bennett. Bennett, I would just strictly take passing yards only. Um, Now, if you want something to pair with passing touchdowns, you can take Frank Harris over 2 passing touchdowns if it's still 2 passing touchdowns.
Yep, he has still 2 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, that's the one I would personally take because Frank Harris had 6 passing touchdowns against Western Kentucky the first time they met. Like I said, there's going to be a ton of touchdowns in this game, Joey. The over under is 74. These teams put up 98 points. Just take all overs in that first game, and honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if everybody went over in that game. Passing yards, passing touchdowns, rushing. Do not take the Western Kentucky running back over, but the UTSA running back you take over. I mean, it's just going to be a high scoring affair. Friday night's game, Western Kentucky, high scoring affair. Georgia Alabama game is going to be more of a defensive battle. You're probably looking at a 21-13 game, 17-10, somewhere in that range. So it's going to be a huge difference. But go ahead and lock in those 2 props, Joey, because I'm loving them. And like I said, we're going to be counting our money coming Saturday night.
Oh yeah. It is weird for me to see. I was looking through the rushing yards. It's weird to see all these negative rushing yards on quarterbacks, but sacks do count as rushing yards, right? So that's what these.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So I remember the first week they had quarterback rushing yards on the board for college football, and everyone in the Prizepicks Discord was thinking that they were errors and were taking the over. Little did they know that sacks counted against rushing yards. So Prizepicks made a lot of money off that right off the bat, but people have learned now. So don't just blindly take the over thinking, oh, there's no way they can go under.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about this last 5 thing that Prizepicks has. If you don't feel like Googling it and you think it's an error, you just click right here real quick and you can see this guy had negative rushing yards in 3 of the last 5 games. So you know it's not an error. But you got to learn the rules of the sports.
Yeah. So what you have for NBA, Joey?
All right, for NBA, we're gonna look at the projections, Prizepicks projections, real quick here.
And let's take note, Joey, before you dig into this too much. These will change right before lock.
Correct.
And there's injury news. Prizepicks will drop more plays. One thing I'll tell the people is 2 days ago or yesterday or the day before we had Gobert points as one of the top plays. Well, right before lock we updated it and he ended up falling to like 6th or 7th on our list. He hit, but he was like the top play all afternoon. So just beware when looking at these, because I know Joey's going to pop it up, is these will change once we update it around 5 p.m., 6 p.m., right before lock. So just don't go crazy and locking and stuff right this second.
Yeah, so right now we have, it looks like 4 different percentages over 30%. I know this prop you love every single time it's up here. Lou Dort, over 1.5 assists. It seems to always pop up just because we always have him projected around 2 assists, and his line's always 1.5. I've never seen him at 2.5. I've never really seen him at 2, so he always pops up there. That's someone So you don't have to blindly follow these projections. The lines that are 1.5, I usually take with a grain of salt. I always have to look them up, just because you can see the difference right here is only zero point 0.6, so 0.59. That takes precedent over Mo Bamba right down here at 2.34 difference. So someone with a 7.5 line rebounding right here and projected at 9.84 is lower than someone just barely projected to go over. But that's what happens with those small lines, so that's something you really have to be careful with. So that's kind of why I like weighing the difference with the difference percentage. Especially if you have someone like Trae Young right here at 3 rebounds. I know there's a promo going on. We can mention that right now. Every entry that you have Trae Young, you'll get $3 in promo if he hits 1 3-pointer. He's gotten that, I believe, in all games but 2, so about a 90% mark. He's hitting that. So as long as he hits 1 3, you'll get $3 in promos. Right now, it's looking like Trae Young rebounds is the top prop for him according to our projections. What else do we like around here?
I don't like Trey Young.
Let's see. Yeah, I never get him right. Usually the assists, but I don't like him at 8.5. If he was 7.5, sometimes he's 7.5. But it looks like most of the projections are pretty spot on with for him, except for rebounds, according to us. Because we have fantasy points, he's at 44. He's at 46 projection for us. His points is 25.5. We have him at 26.5, and then his assists are at 8.5, and we have him at 8.76. So most of those are pretty spot on, except for the rebounding mark, which we do have him going over by 1, but we don't even have him projected to get 4 rebounds. So that's kind of like if I see him not even projected to go over, like if Lou Dort say was at 1.9 assists. So we don't even have him projected for 2, but he'd still be pretty high up there in the projection differential, just because the number's so low. So that's kind of like what I like to look at to try to avoid. So we don't even think Trae Young gets that 4th assist projection-wise. So that's something I like to avoid. So what I'm targeting just based off projections alone would be Malcolm Brogdon over 5 rebounds and Mo Bamba over 7.5 rebounds.
Ooh.
So you can see right here, they're not the top difference, even though it was a pretty high difference mark. He's still, that's a top rebounding prop, it looks like, but usually fantasy points and points are higher up there just because they're higher numbers, so you're more likely going to get a higher difference. So the top, just based off a difference alone, we also have Brandon Ingram points over 20.5 and Joel Embiid over 22.5. I know Ethan was talking about that last night. Monkey Knife Fight had them at 21.5. I assume that number is much higher. It's usually Monkey Knife Fight has the higher lines. So we have Joel Embiid projected for 26.5 points when his line's 22, and we have Brandon Ingram projected for 24.5 when his line is 20.5. So those are a couple extra freebies for you right there. But as if we're looking only based off a difference percentage, I'm going to be targeting that Mo Bamba line and that Malcolm Brogdon line. Malcolm Brogdon's someone that pops up in our predictions a lot. We were really abusing that line when it was 4.5, but they finally started moving up to 5 and 5.5 some games. We have him. So looking at his game log here, pulling up. Actually, let me pull up StatMuse right here.
I just locked that prop in, Joey, so I like it.
What's up?
I just locked in that prop, Brogdon and Mo Bamba rebounds.
I locked it in before the podcast, so I already got that locked in. Yeah, I love it. It seems like Malcolm Brogdon's in there a lot. So looking at his game logs here, I'm filtering by 30 minutes or more just because NBA is so minutes involved. If there's blowouts, most likely these players are going to go under just because they're not getting the minutes. Most of these projections are based off of points per minute, assists per minute, rebounds per minute. So whenever these guys get the minutes boost, the value pops up drastically. So looking at this, his line, I assume, should be 5.5, but since these recent games he has been struggling, this line is lower. He's only gone over 2 of the last 5 games, tied 1 and went under 2 of those 5 games as well. But before that, he was rebounding much better. And I believe, is Turner still out? That's something I forgot to check.
Questionable, I believe.
It's questionable.
Yes.
Yeah, so if Turner is out, that's some more rebounding opportunities for him as well, right there. But looking at that, he's also scoring very well, getting assists as well. So He's very heavily involved in the offense, and as long as Sabonis doesn't get 25 rebounds again, there'll be plenty of rebounding opportunities for him there. But I also like Sabonis rebounds if Turner is out, just because we saw last game he
Yes.
had 25 rebounds, and the matchup is pretty good. Who's playing again? The Atlanta Hawks. Trey Young's going to be chucking for our promo, so long rebounding opportunities, so more likely for those guards to get those rebounds there. So lock in Malcolm Brogdon over 5 rebounds. And then right next to him, Clint Capella over 13 rebounds. That's always something we've been abusing. As long as he's under 13 and a half, you can take his over there, just a little extra there. He's gotten 13 or more in all of the last 5, looking at that last 5 right there. So that's another line I do like. But going back to the projections here, we also like Mo Bamba. Let's type him in, search him. He's right here. Mo Bamba over 7.5 rebounds. He's averaging 10 rebounds a game. If you pull up Basketball Reference right here, he's averaging 9.4 rebounds a game. In these games, he is getting those heavy minutes. Like we like to look at 30 minutes or more is kind of the mark, because especially with Orlando, they do get blown out a lot just because they're a bad team. They are playing Denver, so you need to be a little worried about the blowout. I forgot to look at the line, but just because it's Denver versus Orlando, there's some blowout risks at least. Just because Denver is a very good team, but
It will blow out Joey because that's the NBA for you. The line is -7.5.
that's actually not as bad as I thought. I thought
It's
it'd be
gonna
way
be
worse, but not too bad. But taking a look, if he plays 30 minutes, he's gotten 7 or more rebounds in every single game he's played at least 30 minutes. He's only gone under this number once. He's gotten double digits in 9 of those 11 games. So as long as he's getting the minutes, he's a center, so he'll rebound well. The only issue is the Nuggets are one of the better rebounding teams in the league, but this line is low enough for that not to really matter. They're allowing 44 rebounds a game to opponents. That's 10th best in the league. They are allowing, looking at hashtag basketball right here, they are allowing 14.5 rebounds to centers and 13 rebounds to power forwards. So both Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba should have an easy time rebounding. So I like both of those. I like Mo Bamba a little more just because he is the center. So that's a little more predictable to get rebounds. He's only gotten over this 2 of the last 2 of the last 5 games, but he played Milwaukee twice, and then Chicago, I believe he did not play the fourth quarter either. Because I had DeMar DeRozan assist that game, and then he did not play. Yeah, he only got 23 minutes that game. Blowouts suck. Can't really predict it. I try to avoid games that are at least double-digit spread. So this game is not one of them. So hopefully we do not see a blowout, but you never really know with the NBA. Magic might win this game. That's why I don't bet on games.
the Magic are not winning, Joey.
The way the NBA goes, they might. The other night,
If the Magic win tonight, I will give someone that watches this video $100. Plain and simple. That's not happening.
it's not a. I mean, it's only 7.5. Weirder things have happened. So, what's the line? What's the money line in this game here?
No.
Only -350. You be careful with that $100. All right. So
No.
you heard it here first. $100 to one lucky prop sub. That does if the Magic win. So make sure to sign up dfskarma.com/props. You'll be entered into a $100 giveaway when the Magic win. So he'll probably hedge his bet tonight, drive over to Louisiana, get those bets in.
I will.
So he can. We know the Magic are gonna win. Weird things happen in the NBA.
They do.
'Cause this isn't. I assume this isn't a nationally televised game, so they won't try. With the Magic getting a nationally televised game, that's pretty funny. Hey, they are in Orlando, and it's an early game.
That's true.
But you already locked it in, so West Coast, not exactly a West Coast team, but a Mountain Time team heading over there.
Correct.
We'll see how that goes. But I assume Ethan will be wrong because he's good at picking blowouts. Whenever he
Damn.
picks a prop, So I guess this game will blow out then, because he locked in the prop. He doesn't really play my props because he hates NBA.
I played the one just now.
Yeah, so Magic will blow out Denver, but that's good for us because more rebounding opportunities from Obama.
Exactly.
But
See?
yeah, but that's all
Smart,
we
Joey.
have for you today. Make sure to lock in those props. Make sure to turn on the notification bell on YouTube because these lines could move quickly, especially
Oh,
with
yeah.
Ethan's huge bankroll. I assume he's gonna move the lines, but we'll see. Um,
Hey, the college football ones moved within like 10 minutes the other day.
yeah, I did not get that line in when you dropped it, so I had to get in
Well,
with a little
there's
sharpies.
subs who I know put 1,000 on it at least. I know a lot of people put a lot of money on those two plays. So
Don't let us down, Ethan. Don't
I
let us
never
down.
do. If I do, you won't see me next week. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're supposed to text me those plays first so I can lock them in. But you hate me, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, dfskarma.com/chat. That gets you into our free room. And then dfskarma.com/props. That gets you right to the sign up page for the monthly prop subscription. You get access to the projections that I showed you earlier. We'll have NFL up whenever they announce a quarterback. I think the lines are actually, our projections are up, but Prizepicks does not have many lines just because there's a lot of injuries in this Dallas New Orleans game. Um, CeeDee
Correct.
Lamb, Amari Cooper, don't even know the quarterback for the Saints. The running backs have practice, but they're not confirmed playing, so we'll see what happens there. But we will see you tomorrow for an NFL podcast. We'll be outlining underdog fantasy, prize picks, and monkey knife fight. Whether that's in one video, two videos, we haven't decided yet. But we will see you guys tomorrow for some NFL picks that will hit, obviously. No way they miss because we love primetime games. And we will see you tomorrow.
Good luck, guys. See ya.
See ya.